Greetings everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the community show that takes up about 5 gigabytes of disk space. Now that's a fun fact, isn't it? Fun facts aside though, we got a lot of Half-Life community news to go about, so why don't we get started right now?
LambdaGeneration.
Tripmine Studios is back at it again, and this time they're sharing a piece of music with us, the community. I don't know about you, but I think that mods that have their own soundtrack feel a lot more high quality. Sound does a lot more than you think. The piece of music that they shared comes from the chapter Crush Depth in Operation Black Mesa, one of the mods that they're working on, which is a Source Engine remake of Opposing Force. It's a minute-long preview, but just listening to this preview gets you a good feel of what the chapter is gonna be like. There's also some level design shown in the background, with a collider model laying on the floor being turned into some bull squid's lunch. Man, I want lunch. Anyway, the collider model over there looks a little out of place, of course. They mentioned this too in the video description, so they're aware of it. In this description, they also ask you if you know someone who's a good character artist that has the time to help them out and get rid of these placeholder collider models. So if you know someone, or if you are someone who can help them out here, there is a link in the description below to the soundtrack video, which contains a link to the application guidelines and a page containing available positions. Just as the other Half-Life Alyx mapping challenge winds down, a new one enters the scene. This time, the challenge is hosted by Gvarados, and it's all about creating new game mechanics or new and interesting systems. You can also go for the bonus challenges here, just like with Map Labs competitions. The bonus challenges revolve around having only one mechanic in your map with multiple uses, or you could have multiple mechanics in your map to create variety. And the last bonus challenge is not to use a flare or flashlight apparently, because that's a pretty obvious mechanic and isn't super interesting. What is super interesting though is who's going to judge this competition. Obviously, Gvarados is going to be one of them, but Diomonder is going to judge as well, and Dreaddial is going to be a judge on this too. They'll be judging on the map's visuals, the gameplay, and the theming, so those are points you gotta keep an eye on while crafting your craft. If you want to read up on the rules and all the other details, there is a link to the tweet in the description below. Good luck. It's gameplay time. The Russian-developed mod Quantum Paradox, previously Escape from Petersburg, takes you on a journey through post-apocalyptic Petersburg in the Half-Life 2 universe. It received a rather large media update earlier this week in the form of a 20-minute gameplay video. In this gameplay video, which is entirely in Russian by the way, we get to take in some of the atmosphere this mod has, and I gotta say that it got a lot of it. The maps look pretty amazing too. They have lots of little details here and there, and they just look well crafted. Later on, we get to see the protagonist fight some zombies, which doesn't necessarily look super interesting. It's just standard Half-Life 2 combat. But as it happens about 8 minutes into the video, it shows that it likes to build up the world first before launching you into combat. Even later than that, the Combine shows their heads around the corner too, ready to fight you. Man, it sure is one big party in Petersburg, isn't it? A link to this gameplay video can be found below. But we're not done yet with Quantum Paradox, because they have stated here in the accompanying news post on ModDB that they are dropping the Source Engine for Source 2, and that they will continue development on the mod on there. Which is really interesting because that means they gotta find a way to make the game be playable in a more traditional way instead of in VR, unless they want to turn it into a VR experience, but that is not stated here in the update post. Anyway, if you want to read up on this yourself, you can click the link in the description below. With everything going on in the world right now, it's obviously a lot more difficult for people to keep their focus on what their usual routine is. Hell, even I have this problem now. 2020 just sucks so much, I wish we could just skip it. Like a Hunt Down the Freeman cutscene. Sorry, I just had to! The developers of the long-anticipated The Core mod for Half-Life have been feeling the same way about 2020, and they have decided to delay the release of the game by 6 months. The Core will now release on March 21st, 2021. It was originally slated to release at the end of September this year. Now, I don't know about you, but I have the utmost understanding for this. Sometimes you just gotta give yourself a little bit more breathing space, especially in these times. I hope that everyone at Scotch Mitch and Coffee is doing alright, and I hope they feel more comfortable about this new release date. If you want to see this tweet for yourself, you know where to look in the description below. Mapbase, the modded Source SDK 2013 version that aims to make life for mappers a lot easier, just put something in beta that's going to make mappers' lives even easier, and in some aspects, even more exciting. The mod's creator, Blixibon, wrote up an article about how Vscript is being added to Mapbase, allowing mappers to make better use of the Source engine's capabilities by giving them deeper engine access than that they previously had. Vscript has been used by Valve for a while in their games, starting in Left 4 Dead 2 and making its way all the way to CSGO. Blix here writes that it can be compared to Lua scripting in Gary's mod, but in most of the games that use Vscript, it's used as an extension to map logic, and it uses the Squirrel language. The Mapbase Vscripting build is currently in beta and can be downloaded off of the official Mapbase ModDB page. I also highly suggest you read the article too, it's quite an interesting read. A link to it can be found in the description below. Now let's give some love to a smaller, more unknown project. Radiated is a mod that is being developed by Rogue Lambda and is currently in the early stages of development. At least, looking at the trailer that has been uploaded to YouTube. In Radiated, you play as Daniel Jackson, a rebel that has been separated from his crew. Your task is to get out of City 17 and to stop a Combine-developed device called the Beacon. The story takes place a little bit after episode 1, but wait, isn't City 17 supposed to be completely destroyed after the Citadel blows up, or do I need to brush up on my Half-Life lore knowledge? Anyway, the trailer that was uploaded shows an abandoned subway station that the player, or Daniel, can traverse. Daniel then picks up some strange organic mass that lays next to a dead antlion. I have no clue what this is, but apparently it has to be collected. It has to. I'm interested in where this mod is going to go from here and what it got in store for us. There is no ModDB page up yet, but keep an eye out on the video. Maybe it gets added to the description when it becomes available. A link to this announcement trailer can be found in the description below. Alright, so I'm adding this little segment in while I'm editing, but Valve has just released Chapter 2 of the Half-Life Alyx soundtrack onto Spotify and Apple Music. So if you really want to listen to Part 2 of the soundtrack, or Chapter 2 as it's called actually, then you can do that right now. It's live. You can go there and you can listen to all of it. I'm pretty sure it's pretty amazing. I haven't listened to it just yet as I'm working on this episode right now. But yeah, go ahead and listen to it. Link in the description. Peeps is on a roll with Source Filmmaker lately. This time though, they decided to recreate something from Half-Life Alyx. And it's the humorous Vortigaunt scene from somewhere in the game. I still haven't played it. I really do love this scene though, and how animated the Vortigaunt is. It really shows that Valve has gotten a lot better at animating stuff since the Half-Life 2 games. I also like the camera work that Peeps provided here. Most of it's pretty cinematic, but there are some shots that I would have done differently. Sorry, that's my inner film student speaking out here. Anyway, if you would like to watch this, and it's definitely a great watch, then go ahead and click the link in the description below. You know what else is great to watch? Our social media pages, of course. You could have seen that one coming. It's all down below together with our Discord server, all living in harmony. Isn't it delicious? What's also down there is my very own YouTube channel and my Twitter account, which also have links that are clickable that you should click. And you should definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm busy with a new script for a new video, and it's about 5 pages long already. It's really a big one, so keep an eye on my channel. And with that, I'm going to end episode 95 of All Things Lambda. Don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon to never miss another episode. Salutations, and take care.